What's up, everybody? It's your boy Tark Shabazz, the host of the Pro Formula Podcast. You all know our purpose is to help professionals get those tools to take themselves to the next level. I've heard you all. You've asked me, when am I going to bring on somebody from the blue-collar industry, and why am I only focusing on entrepreneurs and all of that? So I've heard you. And so I'm answering your prayers right now. I got my dog, Akil Blake, who is a construction manager I'm bringing on today. So stay tuned, y'all. You're not going to want to miss this. What's up, bro? What's going on with you, man?
What's poppin'? Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Wa alaikum assalam, man. I really appreciate you coming on, man, and being a part of the show.
Yes,
Thank you so much. I see that you got your gold on, man. I guess we ain't never gonna get you out of repping those HBCUs.
Well, it's deep right here. You know, not only am I representing the HBCU, but I'm also representing the world's greatest fraternity.
Oh my God! Shots fired right when we get started. Shots is fired. Tell us about your fraternity. Why it's the best fraternity in the world?
Well, Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity was the first collegiate fraternity in the whole United States. 7 men, Cornell University in 1906 decided to come together, and they wanted to progress the state of not only Black men in the educational realm, but also the community at large. And so we consider them to be the jewels, the frozen jewels. And what we decide to do is keep that tradition move on. So we spend a lot of time mentoring kids, spend a lot of time raising funds to pour back in the community.
I like it. I always like that the brothers got pride, man, when they be talking about what was it like, man? And tell me a little bit about the HBCU experience, that people that have not gone through it, like, what did they miss out on, or what don't they know that people that are actually in that HBCU kind of culture, in that fraternity, what was it like at HBCU?
Man, the HBCU experience was something that I'm forever grateful for. I think when you're actually on the campus and you come across people that think like you, that you swear on everything that you love, damn, that could be my cousin. Yeah. Oh, I got a cousin that act like that. Man, I got a homie from the crib that act like this. So you spend a lot of time saying, I got somebody, I know somebody, man, you know such and such. Yeah, man, oh man, yeah, boy, I know Tyree, we used to play ball together, such and such. So you have a lot of that familiarity. And then you also have a state of where some of the professors from an academia side, some of the professors are treating you as if you are their own. Yeah, man. Like an uncle or auntie.
Somebody looking out for you.
Looking out for you. Looking out for you in the aspect of not just allowing you to be progressively stagnant, but progressively moving forward by holding you accountable. Yeah. By saying, hey, listen, what's up with that work? I ain't gonna hold your hand. Mom and dad ain't gonna hold your hand. You need to make it.
Yeah. I've been saying lately, when you can't see yourself, it's hard to be yourself. And again, I'm saying that if you can't see yourself, it's hard to be yourself. And so for people that are of a minority, sometimes it always seems like there's a chip on the shoulder. But when you're not represented, you kind of lose a little bit of your identity. So I love the idea of, you got a professor that looks like you, that kind of acts like your uncle or your father, or somebody, one of your big family relatives that's like keeping you on the straight path. And I think that when you're in a PWI environment, my kids are in PWI environments, I don't think that they're getting that same representation. And I guess that I'm always kind of, I don't want to use the word envious, but I love that experience. What school did you go to? Tell us a little bit about that.
I went to the Bethune-Cookman.
Yeah.
College. Not university, but college.
Yeah.
But now it's Bethune-Cookman University. It's located in Daytona Beach.
Yeah.
If you ever in Daytona Beach, you want to stop by Bethune Grill. They got some of the best wings ever.
Bethune Grill.
Bethune Grill. You gotta stop by.
I'm gonna be out there in Daytona today, man. So I'm gonna go check them out.
You gotta stop by. But I wanna hop on something that you said. When it comes to the professors, I think there's a big stigma out there that think when you're at a HBCU, everybody's Black professor. That's not the truth.
Okay.
That's not the truth. When I say it's more of a family environment, you got Asians, you got Africans, you got Blacks, you got whites. You know what I mean? And so everyone, because you're dealing with a smaller, in particular, Bethune-Cookman is a smaller university, it gives you that more interpersonal relationship.
Yeah.
And so that interpersonal relationship is not kind of limited to whether it's a black professor with a black student. No, that interpersonal relationship is with the professor that's taking interest in you and wanting to see you groom to be who you tell yourself and who you know yourself to be. So I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions. Yes, it's a family-like environment, right? Yes, the majority of your peers at your HBCU look like you, act like you, things of that nature. But from an academic side point of it, the professors are investing in you from an interconnection vibe.
From a human standpoint.
Human standpoint.
Yeah.
And they're challenging you to think differently, act differently, walk differently, talk differently, regardless of color.
Yeah.
Because at HBCUs, we got golf teams, we got soccer teams, we got baseball teams, we got all these teams. And not everybody at HBCU is black.
How did you get to Bethune-Cookman? What was your path in the college?
So coming out of high school, Charles Bethune, who was Mary McLeod Bethune's grandson, he was my defensive back coach in high school.
Okay.
And heavily recruited for playing football.
You see, I had to throw out that heavily recruited.
Yeah, man.
He was heavily recruited.
Yeah, heavily recruited because I played defensive back. I wrestled. I ran track. You know what I mean? Played 3 sports and very successful with it. And he was like, yeah, man, I know where you going. I said, what? I know where you going. He said, you going to Bethune. So Coach Williams, who was the DB coach at that time, he started recruiting me. I didn't know anything about HBCUs because my parents are from the Caribbean. My mother's Jamaican. My father's Bahamian. And so I didn't have someone say, hey, you going to FAMU? You going to Cookman? You going to such and such? My first real encounter with HBCU was my defensive back coach. And at the time, because I did like OJT, I don't know if y'all had OJT where you was from. OJT, when you're in high school here, if you are up to par with your credits and stuff like that, you can get on the job training. So I did an internship at an animal hospital. And Dr. Williams, who was a veterinarian, he graduated, first black to graduate from the University of Florida. Well, one of the first blacks to graduate from the University of Florida School of Veterinarian. He went to Tuskegee for undergrad, and he was trying to get me to go to Tuskegee, because they had a veterinary program. But me, young, hard-headed, man, I'm going to play football. I'm going to the NFL. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like he said, you can't do both. You got to pick one. Man, I'm going to make it happen. But if I would have did my research, I would have understood Bethune-Cookman didn't have a veterinary program.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so played football, tried it out, had my son, boom, move forward. But I think to answer your question more directly, it was Charles Bethune that exposed me to Bethune-Cookman. It was probably one of the best experiences because I learned so much about life. I learned that I was a hustler. I learned that I was a thinker. I learned that I was a leader, even more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Translating things from the sports world to real life, live in the present. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Having that winners win mindset.
Yeah, we're gonna get into some mindset today. And again, I'm thankful that you're on the show today. For people that have watched the show, we've had people from all different industries, but the only industry that I haven't had represented, and it's not because I just needed the right person to get on the show, and I'm thankful to God that it was you. We haven't had a blue collar industry representative.
Okay.
And I think that that's so important because, again, if you can't see yourself, you can't be yourself. And so I don't only want people that are watching the show to think, well, if I'm trying to climb that corporate ladder or corporate American ladder, or I'm trying to, be an entrepreneur, that's not what this is about. This show is about helping people in all industries. And so you being on the show is really, I got to say thank you, how much I appreciate it. And then what you represent is so beautiful because, and I'm going to get into you a little bit because I had a house built one time and they said it was going to take 6 months and it ended up taking 8 months. And I want to understand why. And I'm sure we got people out here that want to understand as well. But tell us a little bit about what your job is as a construction manager, what you do kind of on a daily basis, and just break that down for starters so we can kind of level set.
So my job I'm actually a construction manager. My job is to manage the whole project from start to finish.
Okay.
So that means from the pinning of the lot to when you actually put the key in the door. And the only way you're going to put a key in the door is I get a CO.
A certificate of occupancy. Yeah.
Right,
They're saying you can occupy this
You
space.
can occupy this. That means Florida Building Code, all the requirements, all the expectation has been met or surpassed.
Okay.
And what I try to do is get my mind's frame in the matter of, I'm not trying to meet the standard, I'm trying to be the standard.
Yeah.
So I'm elevating up. For example, I had a homeowner that came, visited me, boom, boom, boom. It's like, I seen this house going, and this house, I said, let me tell you something. In construction, you got to learn how to slow down and move fast.
Yeah.
I said, what you mean by that? It's like, well, I could put the waterproofing on your doors. I could put one coat on it, or I could put two coats on it to give you that reasonable assurance that nothing is going to happen.
Yeah.
So not only am I taking care of my lots, I'm taking care of every lot in the community.
Yeah.
Whether it be I'm building a house or one of my coworkers building a house.
Yeah.
Because some people like to skip the process. I ain't skipping the process. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love it.
So after I pin the lot, for a couple stages, you pin the lot, you scrape the lot, you build up the pad, you form the boards on it, you go with an underground inspection, underground plumbing. After you go from underground to plumbing, guess what you do? You got to get the slab ready to pour.
Yeah.
You pour the slab, boom. Okay, now is golden time. Now you're going to block the home. Now you're going to pour the lintels. After you pour the lintels, you're going to fly the truss. You fly the truss.
Let me stop you real quick. You're dropping a lot of construction terminology on us. I want to understand, do you do all of this, or do you hire the people to do it? Or like, talk to me about what your role is in terms of how that's executed. Can you do all of that? Do you know how to do all of that? And do you need to know how to do all of that to be successful as a construction manager?
Well, first and foremost, this is my only disclaimer. I got soft hands, brother. I got soft hands.
I know that's right.
If I could move a piece of paper with my brain, I would.
That's me too.
You know what I mean?
I'm from the neck up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I try to be the neck up. I try to use my head as much as I can.
But it goes, so I used to tell my bosses, I tell them right now, you don't pay me to do the work, you pay me to think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but to answer your question directly, I think knowing the how and why behind the process is more important than doing it, because you have some people in the construction industry that's been doing it about 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
But when you look at the work, it don't reflect that.
Yeah.
So you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
Now you got to come back and say, well, nah, this supposed to be at this angle, boom, boom, boom. This supposed to be like this supposed to be like this. And that's my job, to critique after the process been done.
Yeah.
So if you pouring a slab, guess what? I'm coming to critique it. I want to make sure it's all leveled out.
I like that.
I want to make sure that if I drop, I'm letting the concrete cure for 3 days. You're not dropping it one day right after it's still wet and it's bubbling up.
Let me clarify what I mean there, because I guess, how do you, if you don't do the work yourself, how do you know what it's supposed to look like? Is that just something that after time you know what it's supposed to look like, or did you have like training into this? How do you figure that out if you're not the one that's actually doing the work?
So ideally, like, I'm gonna give you a real life, right? So you got different construction managers. They do project managers. They go about it different ways. You got some people that use technology, all technology, in schedule, or you got some people that use a combination of both, or some people that don't use none. Me, I use a combination of both. Kind of old school in a way. I still got a big calendar that I use. Yeah. And like, if you go in my office, I mean, the whole back, I got 2 little calendars right here, you know, scratch out for each month. I got a side calendar right there. Yeah. And so what I'm doing is I'm calling the trade partners and asking, hey, how many days you think it's going to take to block this? And with time, you know, okay, this is a 50-foot lot, a 70-foot lot. It's going to take X amount of days.
Got it.
Cool. You know what I mean? And then from there, now I can sit here and say, well, it's going to take them 3 days to block this home. Then I'm going to go for a lintel inspection. Boom, boom, boom. That's 4 days altogether. Put an inspection on it. That's 5 days. That's about a week right there. Or how can I cut that time down? So do I block it on a Thursday and a Friday? Or do I start on a Friday knowing my crew's going to be there on a Saturday?
So some of this sounds like, and I want to ask you, did you go to Cookman to do a construction management
No,
program?
no.
So you didn't go to school and
Nah.
All right, I want to stop real quick because I think it's important. Y'all, when you want to do something, you can actually do it. You don't need permission. You could just actually get yourself started when it's time for you to do something. Now, he went to college. We talked about that. We're going to break this down for a second. And I'm not trying to influence you all to be in the construction field. But what I'm trying to do is say, if it's something that's in you to do, you actually can just do it. So I want to get back on the story, but I want to understand. So you did not go to Cookman to be in construction.
No.
That was not the plan.
No, that was never the plan.
Okay.
If you would have told me when I was 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 years old, I'll be in construction right now. Like, man, you tripping.
What did you go to school for?
I went to school for marketing.
All right, hold on. Can we unpack that before we move forward in the story? Because I got to understand. So how does somebody who goes to school for marketing end up as a construction manager?
Okay, so
I want the long, short story.
All right, so I'm going to give you the long, short story, right? Long story short, I had a friend of mine, best friend of mine at the time, son, godfather of his kids. He was on a blue collar side. He used to do carpet installation, right? And so I was just working at Enterprise in their management trainee program. Boom, boom, boom. All right, cool. And one day he needed help. He's like, man, I'm trying to put this proposal together. Boom, boom, boom. I was like, nah, man, that don't make no sense. You got to do this, do this, do this. You got to think in advance. Now, give him a couple of days lead time, boom, 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 such and such. So he's like, man, you good at this. You natural at this. All right, cool. So he said, hey, man, I want you to work at this job, bro. I think you should go work for the job. I'm going to talk to the manager. I know you're going to get hired. Like, I know you're going to get hired. I'm like, all right, cool. So Don Bailey, who was a former University of Miami player, he's a big broadcaster down in South Florida. He has Don Bailey Flooring. Like, there's about 4 or 5 stores. And I went in there one day, had an interview with him, got hired on the spot, and I was doing sales, but flooring sales. That was my true.
That's your entry.
That was my intro to construction. So I started selling floors, boom, boom, tape measurement, boom, boom, boom. Made a couple mistakes while I was young. Okay, measure this, boom, boom, boom. Okay, cool. No, how you convert this over, boom, boom, boom. And so it got to a point, like after a year being there, he was like, hey, man, I think with your marketing background, I want to move you to marketing. Right? And I was like, yeah, but I like that, but I like this. I like this. And so he's like, man, but I want to understand what's in your brain because how you be coming up with stuff, I just don't understand that. So he set up an appointment for me to go down to the University of Miami, take an IQ test.
Take a what?
Take an IQ test.
An IQ test.
An IQ test.
To try to see how intelligent you are.
Yeah.
We think we got a genius.
Yeah, bro. Like crazy. And she recommended me this movie to watch too. She's like, your brain operates like this. And I'll never forget that. I wrote it in my journal somewhere, but it was crazy. Came back, and I was working, boom, 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 getting stuff done, closing deals, boom, boom, boom. I'm talking about somebody walking there, a piece of carpet could be like $300. I'm selling it for $500. How you convince them to pay $200 more than what we asking for? We already got profit on there. And so then from there, we had a conversation like, man, I think you do this on your own. And then from there, me and my best friend at the time, we wound up, guess what? I targeted commercial in the aspect of hotels, right? Focus on renovation. How could I figure this out? So I old-fashioned, went online, phone book, called every single hotel within a 10-mile radius. Now I'm using my marketing background. Every single hotel within a 10-mile radius. Hey, my name is Akil Blake. I represent da-da-da-da-da. I want to see if you was interested in getting your floorings renovated, like your hotel rooms. And one lady, her name was Carol at the Ramada.
Shout out to Carol at the Ramada.
Yeah.
Come on.
She said, hey, I would love to talk. She like, we was just looking for somebody new because something happened with
Stop it. Real quick, y'all. Couple things that you gotta catch because he's dropping jewels and I gotta stop y'all so that I make sure that y'all are picking them up. So one is association. Who are the people that you're around? He said it was his best friend. His best friend saw something in him that he didn't even know was there. He didn't have any idea. He never had no exposure to that. Would you agree that that was the first part?
I agree.
The second part was he was open-minded to a business opportunity. Somebody is coming to you with an opportunity or they're trying to talk to you about something and you can't see it in yourself, but they can see it in you. So make sure that you stay around people that have your best interest at heart, and that'll be honest with you. That's a key that he just dropped. But something else that he just dropped that was super, super important is that when you go out there and you try something, use your gift. He used his marketing to help him in construction.
Yeah.
So don't think that what you went to school for, you do not. You went to school for psychology. You understand how people's mind work. You ought to be thinking about sales. Or when somebody comes and talks to you about you're really good with people and you have great communication skills, don't let the response be, well, I've never done that before. That wasn't his response. His response was like, okay, let me try it.
Yeah.
Am I spot on right there?
Hey, listen, I'm a dog.
Okay, he's a dog too.
You know what I mean? Like as an athlete, I just have my athletic mentality.
Yeah.
You know, winners win mindset. Like I said, I use
what does that mean? A winners win mindset. What does that mean?
A winner gonna find a way to win.
Okay.
Regardless of what it is. Period. You ain't looking for no excuse.
So if we went head to head on the golf course, you
already know. You already know.
I don't already know.
You already know.
No,
I'm trying to win. I'm trying to win.
Yeah,
I don't care, you know.
Yeah.
But I think my athletic background gave me a certain level of tenacity.
Yeah.
Don't quit. Keep going, no matter what. When I was a student government president, people used to come and talk about problems all the time, right? And I used to say, what's the creative solution? That's still my slogan to the day. So if you come to me with a problem, you better have a solution, because I'm going to ask you what's the solution. So, but back to what...
Yeah, no, so we're going to take a quick break, y'all. Check out this commercial. Much love to all of our sponsors out there, man. We truly appreciate y'all. We'll catch y'all right on the other end of this. Peace. What's up, everybody? I want to tell you how much I appreciate you all supporting the Pro Formula podcast. If you really, really, really want to help us out, go and get yourself one of these gratitude journals, y'all. This gratitude journal is the way that we start our day each and every day, y'all. We start every sentence, I am so happy and grateful. And when you're doing that, y'all, I want y'all to know that you're really opening up and uncovering the different parts of your brain that are allowing you to achieve some of your deepest dreams. So if you look at ours every day, man, we putting it in here, we're dating it, and we're actually going through there. What are you happy for? Because whatever you're happy for, y'all, that's what you're going to bring into your life, man. Start of attitude of gratitude. That's where it all begins. Yo, you can pick this up at theproformula.com. We got them in black. We got them in different colors, y'all. But we really appreciate your support, man. Thank you. All right, y'all. Welcome back. For all of you all that are just joining or that are still with us, this is my man Akil Blake, construction manager. So we are representing the blue collar industry, y'all, in the construction industry. And one of the things that we were just getting ready to get into was Akil was talking about how important it is that when you come to somebody, coming to them with a solution in mind, not just coming to them with the problem. Because I'm sure on the construction site, you are dealing with problems pretty much all day.
All day.
Yeah. So what's a good problem solver? What does it take to be a good problem solver?
You got to trust the people that's working with you, working for you at the time.
Okay.
If my electrician, so I got my shell contractor, my electrician, my HVAC, all these people, right?
Yeah.
They'll come to me with a problem, such and such. The first thing I ask them, say, so what do you think the creative solution is? Oh, I think this, such and such. Do it. Just like that. Do it.
Even what if your wisdom or experience tells you that's not the right?
No. That comes, they earn that with me with time.
Okay.
So if I knowingly know they're willing to do the right thing, I knowingly know they have a certain level of ethics, moral, professionalism with them.
Yeah.
Off top, and after working with them 3, 4, 5 months, a year, such and such, what you think? What you think, Chris? Oh, I think we should do it. Do it.
How does somebody get on that list? Because you might have somebody that's like, man, I'm excellent in laying floors. I don't want to work for your company, but I want to be a subcontractor. Are you kind of like a GC?
I work under a GC.
Work under a GC, right. Okay. So how does that new vendor join? Like, how do they get picked and selected to be able to do some of the labor on some of the projects that you all have?
Like I was saying, when I first started from selling floors, I flipped that, looked up all the hotels within a 10-mile radius. And then from there, boom, 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 made a phone call. Oh, yeah, was somebody. Talked to him on the phone. I say, man, I'll make it sweet for you. I want to start off with 10 of your rooms. Just 10. All right, cool. Give me a price for that. Boom, boom, boom. Now I got to sit there and say, okay, do I make risk trying to be greedy, get the profit? Or I go what's reasonable, fair to put my foot in the door? I put my foot in the door, and guess what happened? That 10 rooms turned to 20 rooms. That 20 rooms turned to a different office building, turned to boat cruise, that turned to such and such.
Just from a phone call.
Just from a phone call.
On a Google search.
On a Google Yellow Page search, looking for hotels within a 10-mile radius. That led to multiple projects.
How many phone calls do you think you made to get to that point?
At that time, if I'm being truly transparent, I think I made probably, I can remember this, between 135 and about 150. So
yeah, within 150 phone calls, you could turn your business from I'm doing 10 rooms to somehow I'm doing 200. I think sometimes, Akil, people think you've got to have this grand plan when it sounds like you just said, like, just get started. How long did it take you while you were working the phones to get to the point where you were able to get started? So from the time I made my first phone call all the way to the time I did my first project, what was that time span, and how long did that take?
I got two ways I'm going to answer this. Okay. One way is going to sound arrogant. One way is not going to sound arrogant. The first way that's going to sound arrogant, you got to have it in you. Okay. Right? What I said earlier, it's a winner's win mindset.
Yeah.
Nothing should stop you from what you want to do. So if I know I got to make 150 to 200 phone calls to get what I'm trying to get, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
So if you ain't willing to put the time in like practice, you can't be all county, all selection if you ain't putting the extra time in. It's impossible.
Yeah.
You got people that are talented, then you got some people that are talented but lack discipline.
Yeah.
And as I got older in life and I started to understand, I'm always talented, but once I add that extra layer of discipline to it, discipline with communication, discipline, crafting it up, now it's about a mindset.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
How long did it take?
All I know is I got the job done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was going to do whatever it takes. So, but if I had to answer your question directly, I'm going to probably say 2 months.
Yeah.
2 months. While I really want to say about 3 weeks, but I'm just going to say 2 months.
What I'm really trying to identify is it didn't happen the next day.
Right.
You made the phone call. You probably had to go out there and estimate it and reschedule a couple of appointments. And then they finally let you come in there, and then you gave them a proposal, and you had to wait a little bit of time. What's that 2 months from the time that I've got a prospect on the hook to the time that I actually start the work? Like, what's your mindset to keep you going? Are you still on the phone every day making calls, trying to figure it out? Like, because I think, again, this show is about providing professionals with that extra layer of work ethic or that mindset that it takes. So I like that the winners win mindset, but what I really am trying to help people uncover is it doesn't just happen because you have a good idea.
You got to put the energy into it.
And it doesn't just happen because you put the good energy into it.
Hold on, though. When I say energy, it's about the mindset first. Yeah. That's I don't care what profession that you're in, you got to have the mindset.
I'm really saying, I'm agreeing with that. I don't want us to argue because you heard the man was a wrestler, ran track, played football. He might try to tackle me on the stage. Just stay on your side, bro. But what I'm saying is, it's you got to do you got to let the harvest happen. Sometimes we are trying to pull it out the ground so fast, you just planted it. Give it some time to grow. If we just planted some seeds and then the next day went and dug it up, it was like, how come I don't have what I was looking for? It took some time. And you got to believe that something's going to come up out of there. That's a big key. Believe that something's going to come out of there. But on top of believing that something's going to come out of there, you've actually got to keep doing the work in the interim.
But you missing one key opponent.
Let me hear it.
Component. I think with the positive mindset and all that stuff, I think you have to have an emotional detachment. The reason why I say that is because if I'm making these 150, 100, 200, I'm making these 150 phone calls, guess what? You know what's going to happen to my mental? After I hear no about 20, 30 times, 40 times,
it ain't working.
It ain't working. But if my mind is positive, optimistic, having faith, guess what? And I'm not having no emotional attachment to, this person said, okay, maybe come see me. But I'm having emotional attachment. My goal is to make 150 phone calls. That's all I'm focused on.
So you ain't getting too high when when somebody say, yeah, come by tomorrow, and you're not getting too low when they say, don't call me back.
Because if I call you, you tell me come by tomorrow, guess what that means? I'm trying to do it again.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do it again and again. So one lead could possibly turn in 3 leads. And then once you get in the lead, guess what you do? You make sure you have your paperwork right. Yeah. You closing the deal. Hey, most of the people that work with us, they like to refer 7 to 10 people with us. Start off with a paper. Write 7 names down that you can refer. 7 other hotel owners. And guess what?
Now you're in there.
Free marketing.
Yeah. So that's kind of that marketing. Was that in you as a little boy?
Yeah.
You had that kind of a mindset?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I started bagging groceries on 95th Street and 27th Avenue in Miami, Florida. Bagging groceries. Look, you know the thing where you had a double mint gums in? Hey, man, do you mind if I come and start bagging groceries? People drop quarters in there, dimes in there, such and such. I'm like 12, 13 years old. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going home with, at the time, $20, 13. Yeah. Oh, I'm buying bubble gum. I'm doing everything. You know what I mean?
I remember we had this pizzeria that was in the shopping center that I lived in. I grew up in Hoffman Heights, man. I know he just called his streets out. I'm going to call mine now. Shout out to everybody out there in North Aurora, man, out there in them Hoffman Heights. But we had this little pizza spot, man. And I remember we used to have to fold 100 pizza boxes. You'll get $1 per 100. And at the end of the shift, you'll get to walk away with an 18-inch monster pizza. And I remember as a little kid doing the same thing, knocking on people's doors, asking them if I could, do you have some trash that I could pick up? Can I wash the car? It sounds like that's just something that's kind of in your upbringing and just kind of, so if somebody wasn't brought up that way, how did they develop that? Because not everybody was brought up that way. Not everybody knows that they have that, as you kind of referring to that dog. If they don't know that they got a dog, how do they start like developing? What's some things that people can do to, 1, improve their self-discipline, and 2, create that resilient kind of mindset that you're describing?
I think it's most important. I think you got to watch the footsteps and not watch people. Because if you watch the footsteps of people, it's going to tell you everything that you need to know. Growing up, I wanted to be like Deion Sanders, Barry Bonds, Ken Griffey Jr., such and such. But I watched their footsteps. They went to college. They was all Americans. They was this. They was this. They always talked about her work ethic. It's talking about this. So now they success on the field, I kind of expect that. So if I adopt that mindset of I'm watching Deion Sanders' footsteps, how he was not allowing no receivers to catch a ball in practice. What he did, he worked on his drills, he worked on his techniques, he worked on all of that stuff like that. So I learned with time to watch the footsteps of people, not to watch people.
Yeah, watch the footsteps of people, don't watch people. That's a bar right there. Watch what they're doing, don't watch them. Because if you watch them, you're going to be deceived by what actually is taking place. But if you watch the footsteps of them, you can see their work. Yeah. Thank you for that. Ooh, that's a gem right there. Yeah, man. Did you used to rap back in the day, man? Did you have some bars for these people, man?
I used to do poetry, but
you had some poetry, but you ain't had no rap though.
My mind used to work so fast, man. I couldn't. I'd be thinking a mile a minute, bro. So.
Yeah, I appreciate that. No, that's good. I wanted to ask because I want to help people with some practical skills. So, watching the footsteps is a great bar. But one other thing I want to understand is like, if you're a leader, how do you drive other people to do what you're asking them to do?
You got to read too, man. You got to read. I think reading is key, man.
Yeah, man. Leaders read.
Leaders read. You know, I think reading, listening to audiobooks, we got technology, you go on YouTube. You know, you got to think about it. Your subconscious mind is the gateway to what the reality is. Yeah. So what do you have in your subconscious mind? Are you listening to just garbage music? Are you listening to music that's going to build you up? Are you watching videos that's going to build you up? Or are you listening to videos that's going to tear you down? Yeah. You got to have a balance.
Low vibrational kind of stuff.
Low vibration. Your radius and your frequency is too low. That's why you're not attracting what you want to attract.
Yeah. So if I want to be a better leader, your advice to me is read.
Read books.
Read books on leadership, just read in general, what you saying?
Read books on, find 5 things that you do like. Find somebody within that 5 things that you do like.
What are some type of books that you like to read?
I like to read The Psychology of Money. I like to read, first and most important, I like to read the Holy Quran.
Yeah.
To be honest.
So your spiritual compass, that's the first thing you say.
Because it's so subliminal, it's deep layers to it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Deep stories. And I like to talk to old people too.
Yeah, man.
When I say old people, I mean 80, 90, bless their souls, 70, people that are older than me because they got a little bit more experience, and experience is always the best teacher.
Yeah, so you're going to read the Holy Quran, you're going to read some books about the psychology of money.
Psychology of money, just various books. I like self-help books. So to answer your question directly, I read a lot of self-help books, I read a lot of business books, I read a lot of psychology books.
What's a book that you would recommend for somebody to read that's like, this is a good book? Like, for me, just right off the top, David and Goliath by Malcolm Gladwell was like, it's a game changer. Or even reading like The Alchemist, that was a great book. You got any book
I got one great book that I think everybody should read, The Millionaire Mind. Okay. By Dr. Thomas Stanley.
What about that book that would help people understand?
I think The Millionaire Mind by Dr. Thomas Stanley, it allows you to understand the flow of money. Yeah. Allows you to understand that, me and my wife, we plan on going on vacation. How can we achieve that goal? Oh, we can start by cutting out coupons, right? Mm-hmm. Cutting out coupons, not ordering out every single weekend, doing something like every time you got $2, $3 in your pocket, putting it in a little drawer or something like that. Yeah. By the time at the end of the year, you may got $500 right there. Yeah. By the time you break down the money that you're saving this on coupons or bulk shopping, you done saved $1,300. Yeah. So that $1,300 plus a $500, that's $1,800, almost $2,000. Yeah. So The Millionaire Mind by Dr. Thomas Stanley, it kind of opened your mind to a different way of thinking and saving. And you realize the millionaires that are millionaires, they ain't millionaires because they got money. They millionaires because they smart with how they move with the money.
Yeah. We I want to talk about this a little bit later, but I'll just ask you a quick question and kind of tease it. Is how do you now determine success, like in life? What does a successful person look like, or what does that mean to be successful in your opinion?
To me, if I had to judge success, I'm always looking at my character development. You know what I mean? I think your character development, your morals, your integrity, I think constantly working on those things, it's going to put you around the right type of people. It's going to put you in the right environments. It's going to create other opportunities for you. Yeah. Nobody wants to be around somebody that's negative. Yeah, man. Nobody want to be around somebody that got drama. Nobody want to be around somebody that's not ambitious. Yeah. And if you look at the elements within all three of those I said, all of that could be a reflection of your character.
Yeah, with the Pro Formula, we call it C to the third power. Our company is built on, we call it C to the third power, and the 3 C's are character, courage, and consistency. I think it's like in terms of being and going where you're trying to go, you already hit on it, the character piece. I also think it takes some heart. Being able to go knock on the door, being able to pick up the phone and call somebody and say, I think I can do this. I'd love to come by and provide an estimate to you. And then I think it takes that consistency that you talked about as well, that says, I'm going to do it, and I'm not just going to do it today. I'm going to continue to do it until I get some results. We're going to take a quick break. Yeah. We're going to come back, in our next segment is called Pro Tips. Mm-hmm. And in this segment, bro, what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about practical things that people can do, some tips that you think that you can offer people to help them grow, whether it be in the construction industry or whether it just be in life. So we'll be right back, y'all. Y'all hang tight. We'll be back in just a minute. This is Tark Shabazz with the Pro Formula Podcast, y'all. We'll see you in just a minute. Appreciate y'all coming back, y'all. This segment right here, we call it the Pro Tip segment. And this segment is all about providing just specific things that you can do to take your professionalism to the next level. Y'all ready to rock and roll?
Let's run it.
All right, man, let's run it. So what advice would you give to someone who's trying to find that elevation professionally? They may be in an entry position, or they may be in a leadership role and they're trying to take themselves to the next level. What are some practical or tangible things that people can do?
I think some of the practical and tangible things they can do is networking, right? With Eventbrite, Facebook groups and things of that nature. Okay. If you can identify an industry that you want to be in, Find out where they're networking at. So you can start picking the brains of the people that's around. And if you if your vibration and your energy is right, it can or it possibly will create an opportunity for you.
I like that. Getting into a Facebook group, going to something like Eventbrite. I also think if you want to elevate yourself professionally, one thing that you can do is go get a certification. Go back to school. You know what I mean? Like it may not be to go get a degree, but there might be a new certification that's the hot certification that will add $20,000 or $30,000 to your career just by getting that. You know, so. But
I think that's part two of that.
Okay.
Part one is getting in contact with the people.
Okay. Understanding what is the new thing in the industry.
Right.
Okay. I like that.
Because we hate to believe it. We don't want to embrace it, but the reality situation is all about really who you know.
Man.
A phone call away could be this connection, this skipping the line, interview, this and this. Hey man, I like Tarek, man. Nice to meet you at the event, man.
Yeah.
Hey, you said you're interested in come out of the office, come talk to me.
What should somebody do when they're at the event? So I'm at the event. I went on the Facebook group. I went and found one. What should they be doing while they're at the event?
Talking to people.
Okay.
You can't be afraid. But
what are we talking about?
We talking about, hey man, how you doing, man? Icebreaker, hey man, how you doing? My name is Akil Blake.
I'm Tarek. What's going on?
Man, I'm just want to let you know. What's your name?
I'm Tarek.
Tarek. Hey Tarek, listen, man. I'm trying to get into the industry. What do you think is a good way to get into the industry? I have no experience, but I'm trying to get into the industry. What would you recommend?
You know what he's doing? That's called being curious. That's what that technique is called. It's just a curiosity. You're going into this event. You don't know. You're trying to get in there. You're just using words like, I'm trying to break through, and I see that you're successful. I love the speech that you just gave at the front. I thought that was so powerful. How did you get started?
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when they're at the event, make some conversation. But what if they're not that outgoing?
It ain't about what you are and what you're not. It's about your will to want to be there and get it done should give you all the inspiration, all the courage to make it happen.
Is there networking that people can do virtually? Because I hear that you're saying that, but that's because you have that personality type. For somebody that's on the show or somebody that's watching the show, they may not have that. They may still be a dog. They may still be incredible, but they're not good at going and starting a conversation. Is there anything that you could think of virtually that may be able to help somebody who's trying to get themselves? And you may not, because that's not.
No. I got something.
What you got? Yeah.
They too comfortable.
Oh, you said get up out of that comfort.
You have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah, people say we're hearing that all the time. Be comfortable. Get comfortable being uncomfortable.
You got to. You got to, bro. That's the only way. No matter what it is. You got to become comfortable with being uncomfortable. Because if you're comfortable with being comfortable, what are you really doing?
I think one piece is get some spirituality in your life.
Yeah.
So I think when you're in that situation, so now you're a part of your spiritual peers.
Yeah.
And you can start networking with your spiritual peers. I think that plays a good part of it as well, because in that environment, you're a little bit safer. You're not, at some networking events, it can be intimidating because there's large groups of people you don't know. I'm just trying to help it's not necessarily for me,
right?
But for others, I'm just trying to think if there's any other way that I think. Anyway.
No, I think like you said, so I think if you add the elements of both what you and I said, the networking component to it, and then doing some research and figure out, can you get some certification?
Yeah,
for instance, in my industry, the next step for me will be obtaining a GC license and obtaining a project management certification. Just cause.
Yeah.
Then from there, looking into, okay, are there any construction industries, construction organizations out there?
Yeah.
Construction.
Some networking groups that you can join.
Just to join.
Yeah.
Right? You're going to pay your membership, but all of the wealth and the information in itself is going to pay for itself.
Yeah, man. Knowledge is power. I love that. I'm going to go to the next question I have for you. What is something that you wish that you knew 5 to 10 years ago that you could have incorporated that would have elevated you if you only knew how to do this maybe 5 or 10 years ago?
What is something? I wish I knew how patient I was.
How important patience is?
Yeah. Because I think with my outgoing personality and being so assertive,
You want it right now.
You right now.
Put it in the microwave, put a minute on the clock, and let's get it.
Right.
30 seconds later, I want to get it out there and I want to eat.
But I also realized that my patience is attributed to my positive mindset.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that till later on. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Listen, be a little bit more patient. Give yourself a little bit of grace.
Yeah.
Give yourself a little bit of realistic time frame. You want it right now. Don't think that you got to have it right now. Patience means that I still believe that it's happening, but I'm just waiting for the right time. On the other side of patience can be procrastination. Mm-hmm. So I think it's a fine line between doing something and having some actual emotion and moving forward without using that as your excuse as to why you're not moving forward. So for y'all that like to procrastinate, just don't think that my brother's saying procrastinate. He's saying just be patient and wait.
Right.
Is that fair?
That's 100% accurate.
You talk a lot about this mentality that you've developed, and you've used the word discipline a bunch of times. We just got out of Ramadan, which helps to increase discipline and self-discipline. But aside from that, like, what are things that people can do to increase their discipline?
I think you highlighted it earlier. Being organized, being scheduled with your time.
Okay.
If you have to start out with, with our technology, with our phones, you can pull out a notepad. Yeah. Write down 10 things that you plan on doing today.
Okay.
And then you have to be honest with yourself and realize if you didn't complete these 10 things today, when the first thing you do tomorrow, your task should be to finish up the 10 things.
Yeah.
That builds habit. That builds character. That builds discipline. So starting off, my mom asked me to do whatever it is, your mom, your wife, your kids, whatever, write down what it is that you want to achieve today. Yeah. Write down the things that you want to do today. And then if you don't achieve all that today, let it carry over and finish it out. See it through. You have to see it through no matter what. No matter what you do, see it through. That's the bottom line.
I love that, man. That's awesome. I would say if you want to increase your discipline, I think doing something like a little fast is important. It don't have to be a 30-day fast, but fast for a week. It don't have to be from food and water. It could be I'm fasting from TV. I'm fasting from social media. I'm fast, some of those types of things where you are actually abstaining from something that you have the ability to have. That increases your discipline. If you love watching TV right before you go to bed and you say, for the next 2 weeks, I'm not going to watch no TV. I'm going to instead read a book in that time. You're going to increase your discipline as well. Yeah. What do you think about that?
I think you said it best. Plato once said, we must learn to divorce ourselves from senseless information that remind us of what we already know.
Ooh.
We must learn to divorce ourselves from senseless information that remind us of what we already know.
Oh my God.
That's my favorite quote in the world.
Oh, that's powerful, man. That's a bar right there, Plato. You know what
I'm saying? Think about it.
Man, you got to divorce yourselves from senseless things that you want, but you don't need it. If it's not something that you need, you should be able to take a break from it. If you don't, you got an unhealthy habit. I received it right when you said it. It hit into my heart. Yeah, and stuck.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask one last question in terms of improving. You talked a little bit about reading as ways of self-improvement. We talked a little bit about association as a way that you can improve. But like for somebody that's saying, but I don't have your personality. And I heard you say it. You got to get yourself uncomfortable, be comfortable, getting uncomfortable. I get all that. But how does somebody get out of their comfort zone? What is that process?
Your will and desire to want to become better.
Yeah.
Gotta overcome your fears.
Yeah, man.
It gotta be more powerful than your fears. Because if you allow your fear, I'm not a social person, that's what you're telling yourself, so that you're gonna believe it.
Yeah.
It ain't about being social.
So what's part of it is what are you telling yourself? I just heard that.
Self-talk.
Yeah, that's important. But I also hear you talking about something that I always talk about as your why too. Why are you doing this? When you want it because it's for my kids. When you want it because if I don't have this, I won't have no place to live. When you want it bad enough, you'll figure out a way to make it happen.
So I'm gonna give you another one.
Yeah.
So Steve Jobs, everybody knows Steve Jobs.
If you don't, man, turn this podcast off. This ain't for you.
So Steve Jobs, Steve Jobs' book called Steve Jobs, a book about the size of this.
Yeah.
And I remember I was so fascinated with Steve Jobs because I like, man, he think different. I like that. And Apple used to have commercials that say, think different.
That's it.
So as I was reading that whole book, I walked away it break down his whole life, whatever. But I walked away with one thing. Walking. Steve Jobs said he used to walk, clear his mind, his creativity go. So guess what I started doing? Walking 2 miles. I walk 2 miles in a minute.
Get out your car one time.
I walk, when I'm at the house, boom, 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 guess what I'm doing? All right, boom, boom, boom. 7 o'clock, all right, I got to go for my walk. I'll walk 2 miles, clear my head, think about the whole day, boom, boom, boom. What ideas I have, boom, boom, boom. And because my win is win mindset, and because positive, optimistic, because I'm thinking creative, solution oriented, I ain't thinking about negativity. I'm thinking about all the possibilities of what could be.
I like that.
You get what I'm saying?
I do. So, and I like that that's a practical thing that somebody can do, y'all.
Yeah.
You can get up and you can go out and walk.
Walk around your complex. Just walk around your complex. You don't have to start off walking 2 miles. You can start off walking to the mailbox. Don't drive to the mailbox. Walk to the mailbox.
Love it, man.
You get what I'm saying? Walk to the pool. Walk to the corner store. Walk to the gas station.
Yeah.
But allow yourself to have that therapeutic moment with your mind and your soul and your spirit with your vision.
Bro, that might be one of the hardest, most beautiful.
Yeah, bro.
It's something that's so simple, but that's a pro tip right there, bro. Yeah. I appreciate that pro tip right there. That's
no doubt, bro.
Y'all, that concludes our pro tip segment. But I wanted to just talk to you about where you are right now in your career. You talked about your next step is becoming a GC.
Yes.
What are the levels of your industry? So it's like right now you're a construction manager.
Right.
What's the next step after that? And then how do you get yourself from being a construction manager to that next level?
So currently I have a renovation company too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm an entrepreneur. I have a renovation where I do kitchen, bathroom remodels, everything like that. LLC, everything. Right?
How does somebody get a hold of you? Let them know.
Hey man, call me. You can email me at akilblake@gmail.com.
We'll have that on the screen. akilblake@gmail.com. Y'all get at my boy if you're looking for any of that. Is it in the Florida? Are you international? Throughout the state, where you at?
I go wherever that bag at.
Okay. Y'all, if y'all got some bag, y'all got some opportunity, reach out to my boy Akil Blake. What kind of work are you doing with the renovation?
So on the renovation, I do kitchen, bathroom remodels, everything.
Nice.
Everything. Kitchen, bathroom remodels, paint, order cabinets, order everything, tile, floor, and everything like that. And I will not start a job unless you have all the material goods there.
Now check this out, y'all. Let's get this dude cracking and blow his business up so that he can do some pro bono work for his partner as some marketing. No, let's call it marketing. This would be a good opportunity, y'all. I need to get a little bit of work done. Lynette, I'm over here trying to get some work done, man. So if y'all will reach out to my man Akil Blake at akilblake@gmail.com. And how many customers do you got to sign before you throw your man a really handsome discount?
Man, just
y'all reach out. Let's get something going. Let's get something on the book. All right, so
but in my industry, so you have different levels, right? Yeah. You have a residential contractor, you have a building contractor, and you have a general contractor.
Okay.
A residential contractor, you're only limited to building residential homes and up to 3 floors.
Okay.
A business or basically a business builder or a commercial builder.
Yeah.
You can build residential homes and you can renovate existing buildings over 3 feet. Commercial buildings over 3 feet. So over 3. I'm sorry, not 3 feet. Over 3 floors.
Stores. Yeah.
Yeah, over 3 stores.
And that's a builder contractor.
That's a builder contractor. You still could build residential homes, but now you can build commercial buildings. Whether it be a bank, a McDonald's, Burger King, whatever, you can build that. Yeah. Right? Now, on the flip side, now you have your general contractor. Your general contractor, you can build a skyscraper. You can do whatever you want to do from a building standpoint. My goal is to become, my goal is not to become, my goal is to obtain my general contractor license because I want to be able to build homes on the side and do other projects too as well.
How do you, what does it take to do that? And is that something that you're actively pursuing?
Yeah, that's something I'm actively pursuing right now. Yeah. I just signed up with Gold Coast. I was trying to do Cam Tech, but that would require me driving to Tampa, and nah. So I got Gold Coast is right down the street. Classes Monday and Thursdays online, live in person too as well. And so I'm starting with the business and finance section on that. Instead of trying to cram everything at one time, I'm gonna do it section by section so I can maximize my output, and also I want to be able to obtain the knowledge and really apply it. Just in case I'm picking up on stuff I need to learn.
Real quick, I want to just ask you in terms of fulfillment. Mm-hmm. Okay, because I think, how is this aligning with your purpose, with what your fulfillment? Are you fulfilled doing this work?
Yeah.
And for like, how important is doing work that fulfills you in terms of like getting out the bed and doing it? Because I think sometimes people want to be inspired, but they're not inspired by the work that they do. So it's just kind of like they end up going through the motions, and then before you know it, you look up and 10 or 15 years has passed. How do we stop ourselves from doing that?
I think you're either gonna chase money or you're gonna gravitate towards your soul. Mm. So the problem I see right now, most people, they doing things for the money. I done had conversations with people. I ain't worried about the money.
Yeah.
Cause the money gonna come.
Yeah, man.
The money gonna come. If you positive, you optimistic, you have faith, and you sincere with your intent and your motive, the money gonna come.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So why chase something that's not attached to me when I can just chase my soul purpose? That's gonna allow me to be vibrant. That's allowing me to communicate. That's allowing me to create other opportunities.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of problems that we have, whether you're an entrepreneur or whether you're not an entrepreneur in the professional business world, professional world, we chase money.
Yeah, man.
And then within chase money, it can kind of have an impact on our character, our morals, our values. Chase your purpose.
Yeah, man. That's beautiful, man. Chase your purpose. We got to put that huge on the screen. Chase your purpose, man. This has been fun, man, just getting a chance to talk to you, get a chance to know you a little bit better. I got this last segment that I call Settle the Score.
Okay.
And this is where we pick up on the habits. It's 10 questions, and it's a this or that type of format. Okay. I want to ask you ahead of time to try your best to answer it honestly.
Okay.
And to give me one or the other.
Okay.
A lot of people like both.
No, I got you.
All right, here we go. Would you rather be the mentor or the mentee?
Mentee.
Why?
Because I can learn more.
Yeah.
I can learn more.
So learning is important.
Yeah.
Okay.
The mentee.
Which network do you value most? Is it your professional or your personal network?
My personal.
Your personal network, why?
Because my personal network has expanded my business. My personal network has created opportunities. My professional network is a bunch of people that are already maybe not of the same mindset per se, you know what I mean? Yep. But my personal network, I can build. My personal network allows me to call you if I need some advice on something.
So I was just getting ready to say, so you put your circle, if somebody's inside your circle, that's a great honor.
That's yeah.
To you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
I walk amongst kings,
I appreciate you letting me use your personal network.
Yeah.
Man. That's beautiful, man. Are you charged energy-wise? Is it charged when you're by yourself, or are you charged by being in the groups with other people?
Damn, you gonna hate me for this one.
What is it?
Because it don't matter. It don't matter whether I'm by myself.
But no, like, are you in recharged when you need a recharge? Is it like, I'm gonna go hang with my boys, or I'm gonna go spend some time and be by myself?
It don't matter.
You guys heard him. I asked him before this ever started.
That's why I said you gonna hate me for this one.
Oh, I got this. Yeah, but this ain't nothing. Because all of a sudden now he wants to do both.
But hear me out though. The reason why I say it don't matter, because it depends on your state of mind, what you got going on. You may have a situation where you need to be in around a group, a set of friends, just to bounce ideas off. Or you may sit there and say, guess what? I'm on my 2-minute walk. That's gonna recharge me. So it depends on the situation. In most situations, is it by people or is it? Oh, in most situations, 99.9% of the time, I'm on my walk solo.
So he's solo. You see how you just until you get the question answered, you got to keep going. I wasn't about to quit with that. Y'all thought I was going to give up, not me. All right. Do you attribute your success to your personal determination, or is it to the higher power?
Higher power.
It ain't even close. You didn't even think about it. I said higher. Then you already was raising your
Allahu Akbar.
God is the greatest. That's what you just said. All right. So you attribute your success, everything that you got, to someone.
Allahu Akbar.
There we go. All right. Are you an early riser or a late nighter?
Early riser.
What time?
Well, by default, I get up because I got to pray.
You see what I'm saying?
No.
What time is your natural clock, man?
Natural clock, 5:22.
5:22 you up?
Yeah.
All right, what time you going to bed?
Probably about 1 o'clock.
So he a late rider and an early. All right.
Because I get energy at night.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Do you write down your goals or do you just kind of go with the flow?
I write them down.
You writing it down?
Yeah,
How often do you change them up? How often do you readjust them or do you?
Well, depending on the situation, but what I try to do is put myself on time frames. Like a brother just asked me recently, hey, you gonna get your GC license? Yeah. Hey, give yourself a time. I'm like, dang, you know what, he right. But I just started a class Monday, Thursday. Yeah. So once I take a landscape of everything, how it's going to be, and I'm going to put it out, but I'm like, yeah, 3 months is doable.
I'm your brother. I'm going to help hold you accountable to that.
Hey.
And the way I'm going to hold you accountable is like, how's class? What you up to?
Hey, alhamdulillah.
Yeah, man. There we go. All right. Do you prefer to work independently or as a part of a group?
A part of the group.
Yeah.
Yeah, part of the group.
I'm the same way, man.
You can learn a lot more. You learn more about yourself.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean? Being by yourself don't prove, working by yourself don't prove that you good at what you do.
Yeah.
It just shows that you antisocial.
He's hating no, some of y'all work independently and I understand why y'all, and I don't think you're antisocial at all. I just think some people would prefer they have trust issues maybe. No. I think that could be a big piece of it, but I ain't gonna get into that because that ain't your answer. Yeah. Do you prefer to get a great deal or do you prefer to give a great deal? Are you like, boy, I got this on the low? Or are you like, man, I gave this to homeboy for the low? Which one do you love more?
I prefer to get a great deal.
He wants a great deal, yeah. Okay, that's cool. While you're spending time with your family, is your phone on or is your phone off?
Oh, man, my phone is on.
24/7?
Man, my phone is on. But I'm working on that. Yeah. So what I decided to do, because due to Ramadan, I decided now at 7 o'clock, I'm either turning off my phone or I leave it right on the counter in the kitchen and just block out everything. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I try to be a little bit more intentional. I get a lot of phone calls now that I'm on the East Coast. All my people's on the West Coast or in the Midwest. And so they're in the mountain time zone. They're behind me. So it's like, it's hard because they're calling me at a normal time for them, but it's a little bit later for me. And but my wife, one of the things that we've agreed on is that when I come home from work, I turn the phone off and I greet her, I greet the kids. I'm not also when I'm eating dinner, I'm not answering the phone. That's like some intentional time. So yeah,
no phones. When we at the dinner table, no phones at the dinner table.
Okay, so you're working it in.
Oh yeah.
But your phone is still on.
Yeah.
All right. Is your knowledge that you have, would you attribute it to your natural talent or is it based on like study and research?
Study and research.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it wasn't necessarily natural. I mean, you got some natural talent, but
right.
The stuff that you read and the research that you've done has helped you get to where you are.
Because talent alone can't get you everywhere.
Yeah.
That's where the discipline coming at.
Yeah.
Educating myself about the construction industry, educating myself about whatever it is I'm trying to get into. You know what I mean? Talent can put you in rooms, but your discipline is going to allow you to make other opportunities happen.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean? Well, man, this has been fun, man. I appreciate your time. Give the people a word of advice, man, or last word from you. Something that you would want them to something to stick with them as we finish it and wrap the show.
I think it's important to stay soulful, man.
Yeah.
Stay soulful.
What that mean?
Stay soulful. Stay soulful.
He just repeated it. I'm like, what does that mean? Though, stay soulful?
That's the whole point of it. Stay soulful. When you break down the nature of your character, who are you?
Yeah.
And once you break down the nature of your character, it should allow you to understand who you are from a soulful standpoint.
Yeah.
And if who you are every single day is attributed to this person, that's your soulfulness. Yeah. So stay that way.
Yeah.
Don't chase money. Don't chase people. Stay this way. So that's why I always say, behind texts, behind emails, whatever the case may be, I don't care who it is. Stay soulful.
Yeah, I love that, man. Stay soulful. I think that's a bar. What I just heard was stay soulful. What that means to me is don't jeopardize your hereafter or jeopardize your soul behind whatever it is that you own. So that's staying soulful. That's what I heard from that. Y'all, I just want to thank y'all for taking some time to join us today. I hope that within this episode, you learned a little bit. I would say just in a quick summary, the people that you hang out with is important. Make sure that you're hanging out with people that are good for you. Your mindset, what are you putting into your thoughts? Are you actually investing into yourself? Are you putting enough energy into your mind to really bring you out something that you want? Additionally, be open-minded, y'all. Try something. It may actually work. You got to give it an actual shot. So don't be closed-minded. Open up your mind. And then the last thing is have that winner's mindset, y'all.
Winners win.
Yeah, winners win. You're going to be successful in the things that you put your heart into. So if you are constantly thinking about drama, you're going to be excellent at bringing on drama. But if you want to be excellent at in construction, you may need to go get some of those additional certifications. I'm Tarek Shabazz. I'm the host of the Pro Formula Podcast. Catch us next week, Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch us at the Pro Formula Podcast. At the proformula.com. We look forward to talking to you soon, man. Peace.
Peace.